Being here. I really appreciate it. I've got an announcement to make. My name's John Mertens. I'm running for U.S. Senate in Connecticut in 2010. Thank you. People are asking me, why am I running? And I'll be completely honest. I'm running because I'm scared. Our entire lives, we've been sending career politicians to Congress with the hopes that they'll solve long-term problems for us. And year after year after year, those long-term problems just get worse. I'm really scared right now that they've gotten so bad that they're threatening the quality of life for our children and their children. They've spent us into great debt. They haven't addressed problems related to health care, Medicare, the environment, all kinds of things. You can actually look at my website URL. People need to duck a little bit, but if you go to my website, I have 30 position statements on these huge problems that we need to deal with. Why haven't they been dealing with these problems? It's because they're career politicians that worry about getting reelected every 2 or 4 or 6 years. And that's their primary concern. They're not worried about problems that are 20 or 30 years down the road. They're not worried about the fact that Medicare is facing a $36 trillion shortfall this century, or Social Security is facing a $12 trillion shortfall, or that they've built up a $12 trillion national debt. All they care about is getting reelected. There's another reason I'm worried. It has to do with corruption that's built up in Washington in the last 20 or 30 years. You know, there's 35,000 registered lobbyists in Washington, D.C. The healthcare industry right now is spending $1.4 million a day lobbying against healthcare reform, against real healthcare reform. This industry didn't exist in the 70s. This is a new thing. We used to think that, we have this impression that corporations and special interest groups have always had control of our government. They have not. We need to take government back. We need to make government for the people, and we need real problem solvers in Congress. Even more of a problem is what's happening to the political discourse in the United States right now. Both parties are using fear and anger to influence people's thinking. And instead of trying to solve real problems with objective, calm, quantitative reasoning, we need problem solvers that will define the problem, look at the possible solutions, identify the benefits and costs of each solution, and then explain to us why this particular solution is the best solution. There's more than one solution to most problems, so people can work together and negotiate and compromise and come up with a real solution. That's not happening now. You know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the 24-hour news channels that just have people on there all the time calling each other names. Whenever something happens, the Republicans trot somebody out and they try to spin it in a way that makes the Republican Party look better and the Democratic Party look worse. And the Democratic Party trots somebody out and they try to spin it to make the Republican Party look worse and make the Democratic Party look better. How about just solving the problem? Career politicians' ability and capacity to state monstrous lies with incredible ease is corroding the foundation of democracy. We need people who will be honest, who are public servants, who will simply try to solve problems and do what's right for the people, for us, to do what's right for us instead of the people who donate millions of dollars to their campaign and the special interest groups that employ the 35,000 lobbyists in Washington, D.C. Yeah, John. So, this isn't about me. This isn't about Chris Dodd. This is about a movement for honest problem solving in government, a movement against career politicians who put their party first instead of putting us first. We need to elect somebody like me, somebody like you, somebody like you, somebody like you, somebody like one of us who don't want to be career politicians. We just want people to solve problems. That's what I've got to say. I ask for your help. I ask for you to go to my website, read what I have to say. If you like what I say, send it to everyone you know. Talk to people about it. Talk to them about this movement. We can't just throw up our hands and give up. That's why I'm running. I don't really want to do this. You know, I mean, this is a lot of work, and it affects me and it affects my family. But this is something we have to do. Apathy is not allowed. So, talk to the pollsters, tell them you're going to vote for me. Get me in the debate next year for US Senate. I will be the only one on the stage telling the truth. How many of you use the word politician as an insult or a dirty word? Raise your hand. Why? Why have we come to this? I think we need term limits. I think we need real campaign finance reform. And I think we need to start a new movement outside of the two-party system where we elect real problem solvers. Thank you very much for coming. And I would also like to thank some people who joined us on stage. Richard Lyon is here. He's the chairman of the Libertarian Party in Connecticut. Mike Poleska is here. He's the chairman of the Waterbury Independent Party, and he's also a state agent for the Independent Party. Steve Fournier was here earlier. He's the co-chair of the Green Party in Connecticut. Unfortunately, we ran a little late and he had another engagement and had to leave. And I would just like to thank all of my friends and supporters for being here. And let's listen to some music and have a piece of pizza and maybe a cocktail or a beer. Thanks for coming.